first pillar of holistic health and longevity. Starts with an M, which is mouth. So today we are covering, instead of what we eat to beat disease, today's session is all about don't eat to beat disease. We are looking at fasting, unlocking the hidden secrets of voluntarily withholding food. Fasting, Rumi says, fasting is the first principle of medicine. Fast and see the strength of the spirit reveal itself. Fasting is hitting a reset button to your body. So next we look at fasting, what it is not. First of all, fasting is not calorie restriction. Extreme calorie restriction leads to bodily stress and protein breakdown. Fasting is also not starvation. Starvation is involuntary lack of nutrition. We now move on to fasting, a normal body process. Up until 12,000 years ago, all humans got their food by hunting, gathering, or fishing. As foragers, they would fast until they found, caught, or killed their food. There was no breakfast upon waking or leftovers for lunch. They ate opportunistically, consuming anything they could get their hands on. During periods without food, the body evolved to tap into fat stores for energy. Some research shows this capability makes us metabolically and nutritionally flexible, able to maintain a sporadic diet. For the majority of human history, people ate only 1 or 2 meals per day. The current time-restricted eating patterns like the 16-8 or 1 meal a day, meaning OMAD, mimic this ancient phenomenon. Despite the recent surge in popularity, fasting is a practice that dates back centuries and plays a central role in many cultures and religions. Followers of Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Taoism, Jainism, and Hinduism have observed fasting for centuries with great benefit to millions of people. Recently, there was a survey done in India where they compared the lifespan of various religious groups, and Jainism took the first lead because Jainism has fasting as a part of their rituals. They don't eat after sunset and they fast a lot, and their longevity, the lifespan, was the highest. There is no scientific basis for our current 3 meals a day plus snacks eating pattern. Our DNA has not evolved to eat for prolonged periods of time. So what is fasting? It is the voluntary and complete abstinence from food while maintaining fluid status. In general, most types of fasts are performed over 24 to 72 hours, 1 to 3 day water fast. There are a lot of people who also do a 7-day or a 10-day or even longer water fasts. Whereas intermittent fasting, on the other hand, involves cycling between periods of feeding and fasting, ranging from a few hours to a few days at a time. Fasting is a time of body healing and rejuvenation, which is autophagy. So what is autophagy? In 2016, Japanese cell biologist Yoshinori Osumi won the Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine for his discovery of autophagy. Autophagy is the body's way of cleaning out damaged cells in order to regenerate newer, healthier cells. Auto means self, phagy means it. So the literal meaning of autophagy is self-eating. The purpose of autophagy is to remove debris and self-regulate back to the optimal smooth function. Dr. Louisa Petre says, it is recycling and cleaning at the same time, just like hitting a reset button to your body. Autophagy is best known as the body's way of turning the clock back and creating younger cells. Autophagy is also protective against infection and cancer. Fasting is known to trigger autophagy. Now let us compare feeding versus fasting and what happens in our body. So when we are feeding, we are primarily burning sugar. When we are fasting, we are primarily burning fat. In feeding, we gain weight because of the high calorie intake. In fasting, we lose weight because there is no calorie intake. In feeding, there is no rest to the gut. In fasting, the gut gets the rest. In feeding, we may proliferate wrong gut flora. In fasting, we actually turn on autophagy. In feeding, especially if we are on the SAD, meaning standard American diet, we actually shorten our lifespan. In fasting, there is a lifespan advantage. We next look at the human growth hormone. Human growth hormone is described by some as the key to slowing the aging process. Growth hormone fuels childhood growth, and in adult it helps maintain tissues and organs throughout our life. It is responsible for many other functions such as regulating sugar and fat metabolism, bone growth, and cellular regeneration. It's produced by the pea-sized pituitary gland located at the base of the brain. Beginning in middle age, however, the pituitary gland slowly reduces the amount of growth hormone it produces. Fasting increases the production of HGH. Now, let's look at the hour-by-hour benefits of fasting. So, when we start fasting, in the first 4 to 8 hours, our blood sugars and insulin levels drop. When we fast for up to 12 hours, our digestive system has a rest. The body healing process begins. Human growth hormone begins to increase and glucagon is released to balance blood sugars. When we are fasting to 16 hours, the body starts to ramp up the fat burning. When our fast reaches 18 to 20 hours, autophagy begins. Ketones are released and human growth hormone starts to skyrocket. When we reach 36 hours of fast, Autophagy increases by 300%. If we do a 48-hour fast, human growth hormone increases by 500%. Cellular regeneration starts, and inflammation, which is the root cause of all illnesses, starts going down. At 54 hours, insulin sensitivity increases, and at 72 hours, autophagy peaks. So this is what actually happens in our body when we fast. Now let's just look at stem cells. Stem cells are undifferentiated cells that can turn into specific cells as the body needs them. Stem cells originate from two main sources: adult body tissues and embryos. Day-to-day living means that the body is constantly renewing its tissues. In some parts of the body, such as the gut and the bone marrow, stem cells regularly divide to produce new body tissues for maintenance and repair. Stem cells are present inside different types of tissues. Scientists have found stem cells in tissues including the brain, bone marrow, blood vessels, skeletal muscles, skin, and the liver. It costs a lot of money to inject stem cells, and the result is likely to be that a very minute amount is likely to be successful. However, fasting is the fastest way to increase stem cells. Researchers have found that even 24 hours of fasting can boost stem cell function, even if you are older. There is a distinct connection between fasting and stem cells. So let us summarize. What are the health benefits of fasting? First of all, it promotes good health and reduces medication requirements. Secondly, it promotes weight loss. Thirdly, it improves the heart function. Fourthly, it increases fat metabolism. It improves glucose tolerance. It reduces inflammation. It stimulates the brain function. It boosts the immune system. It induces autophagy. And finally, it also helps prevent cancer. Now, who should not fast? So, pregnant or nursing mothers, diabetic patients unless supervised by a physician, infants and children, and those people who have suffered from eating disorders such as anorexia or bulimia. Now, let's look at a simple way to start. Start with extending your overnight fast by 2 hours, 3 days a week. For example, if currently we are fasting for 12 hours, we stop eating at 8 in the evening and we have our breakfast at 8 in the morning, we are fasting for 12 hours. So why not try to extend the fast by 2 hours, maybe 3 days a week, and come to doing 14-10. Once you are comfortable with that, extend it out to 16-8. If you are all tolerating 16-8, 3 days a week, increase that to 5 days a week. The ultimate goal would be to do 16-8 every day of the week. The question is, what do you want to be? Do you want to be in the fed state, which is the insulin dominant metabolism, or do you want to be in the fasted state where you are in the growth hormone dominant metabolism? Last but not least, food for thought. Fasting helps you enjoy the benefits of autophagy as a cellular mechanism of rejuvenation. Fasting is linked to longevity. It is to your benefit not to eat. Extending the overnight fast is easy and effective without adverse effects. Thank you.